What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot Rico. It's Rico and Bot on the BF Postgame Show. Coming at you live, fresh off the Buffalo Bills' 8th victory of the 2025 season. Bills 26, Pittsburgh 7. The Bills 8-4 in a game that they had to have. Rico, they had us in the first half. I ain't gonna lie. Man, that was a rough first 30 minutes that we had to sit through. But we were rewarded on the back half. Things got off to a hot start in the second half, and the Bills never looked back. Trailed 7-3 at half. Do not allow a single point in the second half. Go on to score 23 of their own in the second half. Go on to secure a much-needed victory in an absolutely insane AFC. Rico, the Bills back in the win column. How are you feeling, brother?
Are the Bills back in business? Yes, we are. Now, was it a sexy win? No, but a win is what we wanted. We just wanted to get into Pittsburgh, leave with a W, minimize the amount of bodies falling to the floor, and get back to Buffalo so we can face Cincinnati Bengals. But for the most part, listen, there are two types of fans that when watching these games, they love a great defensive matchup where it's like, okay, so somebody's going to have to make a move. There's going to be one chess move that opens the floodgates a little bit. And the Bills had to make that defensive move. And it was good to see the defense for once step up when the offense needed a little time to kind of get the mojos flowing. So I'm actually pleased with the way the Bills won. It wasn't on the back of just Josh Allen. It was a complimentary win. Dare I say, the defense did what they needed to do. Offense did exactly what they needed to do. And we got away with a win. And coaching staff, good job, coaching staff. You got to give credit to where credit is due. Some might say, hey, man, we didn't put 40 points up. Well, we didn't need to. The defense held it down. And if you look at the statistics, you look at the metrics, bro, we did all right today. So I'll take this performance today only and say, good job, Buffalo. We got ourselves into the 8th win. And now we're back into the mix. We would have had to talk about the Bills being 7-5 and in the hunt, and now being
those words.
Exactly. Nobody wanted to do that. They would have been putting us in the category with the Browns, Chiefs, Ravens, Dolphins. Bro, I didn't want any parts of that. Let me be in the column to the left where the guys are winning, and the guys to the right, you guys duke it out. I did not want to be in that column, and I'm thankful that the Bills were able to prevail and get us the W. But golly, if we lost this game, it would have been nasty work. But great job by the Bills. I'll take it. I got to give some love to the Bills. They handled it, played good defense, and away we go. So 8-4 Bills. Love to see it.
8-4 the Buffalo Bills, indeed. So good to have all you in as you all meander on into the BF Postgame Show here. So great to see you as always, especially after a victory. And that was a long 10 days, by the way. That was a long 10 days since that beatdown against Houston. I mean, it felt long. And yeah. I couldn't wait to see the Bills get back in action and try to avenge what we saw in that Thursday night football game where the Bills scored 3 points in the second half. Josh Allen gets sacked 8 times and in many ways still could have won the football game and didn't. And in this game, you're going up against a team that was, at the time at least, winning their division. If they had won that football game, they'd be back atop of the North. It's in Pittsburgh where they have played better this year than not. The Bills have not played particularly well on the road. 4 losses on the year. The Bills, 3 of them on the road, right? So you go into this one, and like many other times throughout the season here, Rico, what are the Bills going to prove to me after a spot in which they proved to me nothing, right? We've seen this time and time again this year. And there have been times where the Bills have answered that call. What are they going to show me? What are they going to prove coming off of that beatdown or that loss or that poor outing? We've seen them step up. They did not step up in the first half. In fact, it was the complete opposite. The Buffalo Bills were abysmal in the first half. 3 points scored. So by the time halftime rolled around, the Bills had scored 6 total points in their last 4 quarters of football. That's a full game's worth of football that this Bills team was able to muster 6 combined points in. You turn the ball over, Josh Allen with that bad pick. James Cook made himself fumble. I don't even know what happened there. He fumbled. Pittsburgh gets into the end zone. It's 7-3 at the half. The Bills had, I believe, doubled up the total yardage of Pittsburgh and were losing. And I got to be honest with you. Nothing about that first half told me that what we saw in the second half was going to be the reality. I mean, there was nothing about that first half that made me think that the second half was going to look like that. And this is where I'm impressed. Now, we'll talk about this game in totality, of course, throughout the episode. I will say right off the bat, this is no statement win for me. That Pittsburgh Steelers team is bad. That is a bad football team, and I think you saw that today. They couldn't do anything. I mean, you think the Bills offense has their struggles? Did you see what they put out on display? I mean, that was unwatchable. That was horrific. And that defense didn't come to play either for Pittsburgh. And you would have thought if they were going to have a game to show out, it would be in this game where you're missing Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. And to me right there, that's one of the main focal points that I want to touch on. And it's that the Bills won this game in dominant fashion. They bullied Pittsburgh in that back half of the game. They really did embarrass them, frankly, in that second half. The Bills would go on to rush for more yards, and I call it Heinz Field, sorry, just much like I call Highmark the Ralph. What is it, Acrisure, whatever, Heinz Field.
Whatever it is.
The Bills just ran for the most yards an opponent has ever ran for against the Steelers in that stadium. They bullied them. They pushed them around. Even in the later stages of that game, where everyone on the planet knew the Bills were just going to keep running the football, they really couldn't stop them. You had Cam Hayward. I need to know what Josh Allen said to Cam Hayward. I don't want to know. I need to know because that man was livid the entire game, would not let it go, was all up in Allen's face the whole game, and Allen was like laughing at him throughout it. This was a chippy game, going at it, and the Bills won the physical battle. And I got to be honest, throughout the season here, it hasn't always been the case. The Bills' offensive line has been really damn good. We know this. And we know at times the Bills' D front has been good, especially when they were healthy. But I don't think we think of the Bills as this physically dominant team. And I think if we think of Pittsburgh, at least historically, that's how you view them. Today, the Buffalo Bills bullied the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially in the back half of this game. And the score wound up reflecting that. I mean, I look at Pittsburgh right now. That's a team that reflects exactly who they've been. They're good enough to beat the bottom feeders. They're good enough to get the winning record yet again from Mike Tomlin. Maybe they'll be good enough to back into the playoffs, depending on what Baltimore does. And if they look like they did on Thanksgiving, they can forget it. So maybe they'll back in, right? But that is not a very good football team. And for the Bills to have put the first half out on display in which they did, I thought it was an awful, awful, awful way to bounce back from that Houston Texans loss. So I could not be more thrilled at their ability to go into half, get it in gear in the second half, and really never look back. You mentioned it. Joey Bosa flipped the game on a dime. If Joey Bosa doesn't hit Aaron Rodgers, knock the football out, and have Benford take that to the house, the whole complexion of this football game could have been entirely different. That completely changed the game, Rico. The Bills had their foot on the gas the rest of the way, and they never let up. I mean, really, from that moment forward, the Bills destroyed Pittsburgh. Ugly first 30 minutes, Rico, but the back 30 really made up for it in this one.
You're absolutely right, and I'm so glad you brought up this defense because the name of the game was the defense. If not for the defense, who knows how this game would have kind of dragged on? Because I mean, Lord knows that first half was brutal. I was like, wait, who's gonna come up here? Aaron Rodgers just looks old, tired, beat up. I think they would have had a better chance. I thought it would have had a better chance just going with Mason Rudolph. The younger, fresh legs, want to throw the ball downfield, and that's exactly what you got. But I'll tell you this much. The reason the defense was as I use the word dominant as loose as possible, but I use the word dominant was because of one player, in my opinion, alone. And that was the guy in the middle of that defense, Shaq Thompson. The addition of Shaq Thompson coming back in this game and holding it down, I think he's the better linebacker for this team at this juncture going forward and leaving him there. Because not only did he talk about how physical he wanted this team to be, but he wanted to take it personally to not allow these teams to run the football. They made sure that they kept these guys at bay. They didn't make a new star in Pittsburgh like they did to Sean Tucker. They kept these guys at bay, and Shaq Thompson deserves to stay in the middle of that defense for the rest of the season. I don't want to hear tickety-boo. If you want to rotate Bernard in, you rotate him with Matt Milano. That's how you do it. Let him nurse his elbow. Let Shaq Thompson lead the way, because this week alone, he said it, we have to take it personally to not let these guys run all over us. If we have to treat it as if they're trying to rob us, coming to our house and run amok at us. We have to make sure that they don't run it. And that's exactly what they did, keeping these Pittsburgh Steelers at 60 yards rushing. Now, Pittsburgh's not a great running team to begin with. They run the ball, I think, less than 100 yards per game. But we kept these boys at 58 yards rushing. That's a testament to the addition of Shaq Thompson. You must keep him in. And that's what got things started, right? By stopping the run and having to give Bills opportunities to get the ball back. We got these guys stopped 3 out of 9 times on third down. Love seeing it. So big kudos to the defense. You said it, right? If not for Joey Bosa coming in and handling business and getting that sack, forcing that fumble, Benford being opportunistic, taking that ball to the end zone, maybe we're going back and forth right now into third overtime. But the fact of the matter is this: defense made the proper stops. The run game did what they need to do. We'll get into the run game in just a little bit, but the defense did what they need to do. Side note, I don't know if you saw this, but hamstring Joey Bosa. So
I did. Before we went live, I saw a message come into our group chat, and all it said was Snydoc, and it said, "I have good news." So I don't know if you can check that if you got your phone, but my phone's the webcam, which that's like the double-edged sword. Right. I can't check, but I think he might have had an update on us there. I'm hoping he's fine. Because Joey Bosa really flipped the game. I mean, he allowed the Buffalo Bills to take this game to another level. If that play doesn't happen to begin the half, I don't know if this one ends up going the way it does. I still think the Bills win. Pittsburgh was terrible today. But, you're nailing it. I think it was a mix of two things. The Bills' defense really stepped up. Unlike the offense, the Bills' defense played pretty much a full 60 minutes of really good football. Couple of little moments, but really anything that stands out, not really. The only time Pittsburgh scored was when James Cook fumbled the football in plus territory. They already were set up, and they took advantage of it. But I'm looking at Pittsburgh, and once again, I don't view them to be a team that is awfully imposing in terms of a team I look at to be towards the top of the league. But 5 of their last 6 games, Rico, they've scored 25-plus points. 7 points in this game. No points in the second half. Like I mentioned, the only points scored are off of a turnover where they're already set up beyond the 50-yard line. But when you look at the individual numbers, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most accurate quarterbacks to ever play the sport. 10 of 21 for 117, no scores, a quarterback rating of 65. Mason Rudolph, it was one of the worst games I think he's had, really. Yeah. And when you factor in he's already banged up going into it, he gets nailed by Joey Bosa. It looked like his nose might have gotten completely wrecked. So Mason Rudolph comes in. He's 0 for 3 and pitched one right to a wide open Christian Benford, right? And then the game never was the same. They had 2 turnovers within a minute and a half of the second half. But this Steelers offense, as poor as they looked, and at times I just don't think that they're a potent offense, or at least an offense that you view to be one that you're overly concerned about when comparing it to the rest of the league. They have been able to put up points this year, especially more than they were able to last year. They held this Pittsburgh offense to 166 total yards. I mean, that is about as bad as it gets in the NFL. It's very rare that you see a 1 in the total yards category at the end of a football game. 166, 108 total passing yards when you factor in the sacks. 58 yards on the ground. I mean, the Bills had 58 yards on the ground, I think, in the first quarter. So what the Bills defense did today was impressive. And in many ways, Rico, it's the reason they won the football game, because what they were able to do in the beginning of that second half ultimately wound up being the difference. And you saw the energy sparked within the Bills offense as a result of that. When they got the touchdown from Benford and then got the interception, what do you know? The momentum gained from that, you started to see the Bills offense clicking a little bit. And that's when they started to impose their will. Josh Allen's making a couple of freaky plays. James Cook, have a day. It's almost becoming Like, gone are the days where you're surprised that James Cook goes off or a running back goes off. He's done this so many times. Today, once again, no exception. The Bills defense, though, is the catalyst here. We can only hope it can continue because they are playing a far more potent offense next Sunday against the now led Joe Burrow Cincinnati offense, who just took it to Baltimore, and Joe Burrow didn't even play well. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, we know the drill. The Bills defense, if they can bring that to the table next week, it'll be their best chance to win the football game. But on this particular day, Rico, the Bills defense shined. They dominated, and the Steelers really never had a pulse on offense this entire football game.
They certainly did. And I know that you want to you're giving credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you're saying they're a bad team. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers before this game, they're the leaders in the AFC North. They're the top.
That ain't saying much.
They're the top of the AFC North. So the fact that we came into this game knowing that they had to win this one, this was a key win. Because if they win this one, they kind of keep control of that AFC North. Now you have the Bengals that are starting to kind of get some steam here. Who knows what's going on with the Cleveland? I mean, the loss today just certainly puts them out. Maybe they had a chance. Then you have the 6-6 Ravens. You don't know what's going on with the Ravens. Are they heading down? Are they going up? You just don't know. So this was a huge win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the fact that they came out looking like this, whether you chalk it up to a bad game or chalk it up to the Bills wanting it more, chalk it up to the Bills just having a little bit more, listen, we can't lose to these Pittsburgh Steelers with old man Rodgers and just a whole bunch of guys that just are not good enough. They had to come in and handle business, and that they did. So give a little bit of credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to give them to, but I also understand what you're saying. Listen, Aaron Rodgers looked bad. The run game wasn't great. They don't have any receiver. Their second best receiver is Kenneth Gainwell, which is their running back. So
well, you know what, though, to that point, though, Rico, the Falcons are bad. Bills lost. The Miami Dolphins are bad. The Bills lost. So to your point, like, you still got to go out and win the football game, and the Buffalo Bills certainly did that. Yeah,
you certainly do, and that's exactly what they did. We love to see it, and kudos to the defense, man. I mean, listen, time and time again, we're always like, man, Josh can't do it by himself. Josh can't do it by himself. When is somebody else going to step up? When is a unit going to step up? Well, that unit today was the defense. The defense said, hey, you ain't got to do it all by yourself. We're going to help you out. We're going to stop that run. They ain't going to pass on us. And that's exactly what it did. We held them to 7 points total, blanked them out in the second half. They what? I think their total offense today was less than 200 yards of total offense. They had 161 yards of total offense. Have a day defense. Good job, because just last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers put up 31 points, or they in a loss. I don't know who I forgot who they played, but they put up points last week. So in this case, the Bills understood the assignment and they held it down and did what they're supposed to do. So kudos to the defense. And we want to build on this performance, right? And we're getting healthy. Maxwell Harrison returns next week. So hopefully we get a little something out of him. Actually, did he play today? I think he was on I know I saw a lot of Trey White.
The injury list for this, and this is why this win, I'm not going to be willing to say it's an aberration as to why they didn't look very good for large parts of this football game, because they haven't looked good for large parts of many of these football games this season, right?
Harrison did play, okay.
You were missing a lot today. And the offensive side of thing, most importantly here, they're always banged up on D, Rico. I mean, this is just the inevitable reality of the Buffalo Bills anymore. Their defense is just rattled with injuries every year. No Dawkins, no Brown, and no Kincaid. I mean, to me, Rico, in many ways going into this football game, that just meant no victory. I really did not think the Bills were going to be able to impose their will. I mean, would it have shocked you if they couldn't have ran the football today and TJ Watt had 4 sacks? Like, if this game went differently with no Spencer Brown, they just came off a game, Rico, where they got, I know it's maybe apples to oranges, that Houston D might be the best in the league, but you just came off a game where you had 8 sacks. Would it have stunned you if TJ Watt and Hayward went nuts in this game without Dawkins and Brown, and they weren't able to run the football, and the Bills couldn't put any points on the board, couldn't sustain drives? It wouldn't have shocked me. And then you know Kincaid, that's your pass game. You thought maybe he'd be back. No Josh Palmer, right? And you're thinking maybe that's an added benefit that we're going to need. Cooks, the savior, right? Brandon Cooks, he had his catch early on, but that was it.
Yep.
So, like, in many ways, I thought that the Bills might have had one too many injuries going into this game, Rico. I just wanted to win. In this game, I really didn't care because the way the AFC is right now, and we'll talk about this later on, I don't know. It's all over the place. You got to just get in. And if they were to have lost today, those playoff odds take a pretty drastic hit. With them winning today, they're back into the 90% area there, above 90%. It was a huge win. And like you already mentioned, it was a massive game for Pittsburgh, too. They would have been back atop of the division. That's a huge, huge loss for them. So it was one thing to just win the football game, and that's all I wanted this afternoon. The ability to do it the way that they did without the guys that are pivotal. Is there anyone more pivotal to this team outside of James Cook and Josh Allen than Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins? Like, I don't think so. And to go in there and run for as many yards as anyone has ever ran for in that stadium, I mean, that would not have been what I would have guessed going into this. So I got to give them credit for as banged up as they were to go into Pittsburgh, not an easy place to play, whipping wind, coming off of a loss against a team who you would imagine to be as hungry as they are. They have not played well on the road. To go in and do what they did, Rico, that second half left me impressed. There was many aspects of this game that were not very impressive, but I don't really care if they're like, at this point of the year, you got to win. I'm looking across the AFC. There isn't a single team that is overly impressing me right now. It does not stun me when any of these teams lose because they all have their flaws, including the Buffalo Bills. Get into the damn playoffs. Bills did a hell of a job today making sure that's going to end up becoming a reality in a month and a half here.
You know what? Let me piggyback off of that because I think there should be given more love to backup tackles Alec Anderson and Mr. Ryan Vandermark. So in the week, talking to some my man Carl Jones, and we were speculating on what was going to happen, and he kind of had an idea what was going to take place, and I was trying to guess: is it going to be Chris Lund? Is it going to be Tylen Grable coming back? Who is it going to be? Alec Anderson ended up getting the start at right tackle. What a tough task. A guy that hasn't played tackle since college days. He comes in to go up against, of all people, TJ Watt. What a tall task. And you can tell his jitters were up a little bit. This guy, 3 false starts. And in those 3 false starts, twice, that kind of threw the whole offense off of what we're going to do. Okay, now we're third and long, super long. So once we kind of got our act together and these guys got warmed up, boy, did they handle business. Not once did they allow Josh Allen to get sacked. Not once. Josh Allen threw 23 times. It wasn't like Josh threw 11 times. He threw 23 times, and not once did they allow that brother to get sacked. Kudos to both Ryan Vandermark and Alec Anderson because that duo allowed this rushing offense to run the ball 51 times.
Crazy.
51 times for 249 yards. 2 backup tackles. And let's not forget, Ryan Vandermark comes in whenever anybody goes down. He's our swing tackle. Alec Anderson was a guy that came in. Anytime we need to go in jumbo formation, I'm coming in and we're running the football. Jackson Hawes coming in has done great things, but kudos to those 2 tackles that said, you know what? I do not want to be the liability. I want to be an asset to this team. And boy, did they freaking show up and allow this team to run 51 attempts for 249 yards. Are you kidding me? At what was it? A Cruci Stadium, whatever they want to call it. So Stadium became the stadium. It didn't matter what name it was. The Bills were running the football, and there was nothing you were going to do about it. So, and that's why I wore my Thurman Thomas jersey today because I'm like, you know what?
Love it.
And I'm surprised you didn't say anything because I know I don't wear jerseys.
I know. I was. I'm actually, I can't, now that you're saying it, I still can't believe you have it on.
Yeah. Listen, I even wore it to my girls' soccer game today. I don't know what got over me.
You went in public with it.
In public, I was stunned.
Now that is a major development.
Listen, I was looking for the hoodie and I saw the Thurman Thomas jersey next to it. I was like, what? Dare I?
Wow.
Dude, I put the hoodie on, I put the jersey on. I put the ball cap. I say, yo, it's a wrap. We're running the hell of that football today. And that's exactly what we did. So the Bills handling business with the 2 tackles, the guys that were backing up, the guys that had Bills Mafia kind of worried. I mean, we all sat there worried. We're like, oh, they're going against Pittsburgh? TJ Watt? Ew, I don't know if I like this. Boy, did they ever tell you to be quiet, let us handle business, and let's run the freaking football down their throats. So big shout out to those 2 young tackles, and they came through and made Josh look good. And what I loved, I got to say this, I haven't seen this at all, but I love seeing Josh hit every one of his linemen on the helmet and say, good job, good job, good job. That's what I've been looking forward to seeing from my quarterback. Not one that just sits on the bench, win or lose, and just stays to himself. I want him engaged with his guys. Not that he's not, but that public engagement that you see, bro, is nice. It's nice to see. So it was great to see these guys, the bookend tackles. I call them bookends because those are the two that was handling business. They held it down. They allowed the Bills to control the clock. Boy, did they ever. Did you see the time of possession yet?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, in every facet of the football game, they dominated. The only thing you were worried about is the turnover differential, right? That was what the big issue was going to be, because they were dominating them really in the first half, but they couldn't score, and they were turning the football over. But a 42-minute to 18-minute time of possession, Rico, that's unheard of. I mean, that is unheard of. This was an ass kicking. I mean, it really, really was. It was ugly. The Bills did not play well offensively in the first half, and then they go off sides right before the half, so that left that terrible taste in your mouth. You know, this was an ass kicking. It really was. I mean, you go up and down. The only thing you were worried about was were the Bills going to get in their own way by turning the football over twice early in the football game, and was that going to be how they were going to lose? And they didn't let it affect them. They go out in the second half, and they get those 2 turnovers right back. And in many ways, I feel like that ended up being exactly what they needed. They erased those two turnovers from the first half, and they really went off in the second half. So what they were able to do in that second half, though, I got to be honest, Rico, I was shocked to see it. Just in the first half, it just did not feel like the life was there. This is what concerns me about this team sometimes. They just look so flat. They just look lifeless at times. You mentioned it. Josh Allen, towards the end of this one, he was jazzed up. I don't know what happened between him and Cameron Hayward, but I think that juiced him up to some degree. I don't know what the hell happened there. James Cook, you never know whether he's thrilled or pissed, but it didn't matter because he was running like he was pissed. He was incredible. And, the ability to just be able to sustain that throughout the whole half, because it was still a 2-score game for a long time. They could have faltered. And right when Pittsburgh was making their way down the field, Rico, to potentially make that a 1-score game, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would have made the game a 1-score game at one point. 4th down within the 10-yard line. Steelers stacked the box. They got every big guy on their team out there. Bills blew that up at the line of scrimmage, destroyed them. They couldn't run. They couldn't throw. They couldn't do anything. And I just thought the ability to mitigate the impact of Pittsburgh's D in this one, they haven't had a great year. They're the highest paid defense in the NFL, and they more often than not do not look like that. They should be way better for the amount of money invested into it. They have been a bit better as of late. And I would just think, as susceptible as this Bills offense has been, turning the ball over, which they did do again today, so you can't rule that out, but getting sacked infinitely more than last year, and now you take out Dawkins and Spencer Brown. I just thought it was set up today for them to kind of feast. And Rico, I mean, they did the complete opposite. They starved to death in this game. The Bills dismantled them in, like I said earlier, in quite an embarrassing fashion. You let a team come in and not just run on you. The Bills have gotten run on this year, but like they imposed their will. It wasn't just like they were run. They didn't get their rush yards, Rico, from James Cook busting off an 80-yarder to inflate the numbers. It was just 5 or 6 yards every single snap until the football game was over.
Give credit to Ray Davis getting in the action. We haven't heard of Ray Davis all freaking year, and all of a sudden this guy goes for 9 touches, 66 yards. What, did you get your juice back all of a sudden? And if you did, kudos. Let's see more of that. So for those that need a running back right now going into next week, I mean, Ray Davis might be one of those guys you want to pick up right now, because I picked up Ty Johnson thinking that we're going to pass the football a little bit and give it to the running backs. He didn't get the touches that I needed him to get, but that's neither here nor there. Now, you mentioned Josh Allen, and what the heck was said between him and Cam Hayward? I'll tell you, Josh is a pest. I'll tell you right now, there's a reason that a lot of these defensive players do not like Josh, because he'll do little things that just drive you nuts. So he must have said something to really get Cam Hayward, man of the year, Cam Hayward, just pointing and wanting to get right at him. So whether Josh told him to, I mean, there's usually one thing a man can say to another man that will get somebody fired up, in my opinion, right? We've seen the spitting episodes, right? When you spit at somebody, that is grounds for like, we're gonna fight. But when it comes to words, there's usually one thing that man can say to another man that'll get somebody fired up. And this, if you tell him to SMD. If you tell a man to SMD, bro, no, you're not going to talk
Well,
to
the broadcast picked up Hayward calling Allen a PAB. And that was after whatever the hell Allen's, I don't know.
Right. So
I have no idea.
Josh must have said something in the lines, and he gives me that type of guy that can say something like that, right? As you know, as corporate as he is and all that stuff. But when he's within those lines, there's a reason why people are like, yo, I don't like Allen. Allen's not the likable guy, but he is. But when you're juiced up and you're playing, you can say whatever you want. So maybe he said SMD, and then my man didn't like it. You a PAB, and then all of a sudden there's all this brouhaha happening. So what I did though enjoy was anytime that stuff happened, Josh's boys came through. It's like, no, this ain't happening. Yo, move out the way. Yeah, not today.
Yeah, like when Patrick Queen hit him late, no flag, everyone went up, and I love that. Ooh. That's what you need to do.
How do you not call that though? How do you not call that? That's blatant. Even my father-in-law is a hockey guy, but he's a sports guy nonetheless. And he goes, hey, but that guy was like, he gave himself up. Like he could have, the other guy could have had a chance to slow down and not hit him. Correct. And they missed that call. They absolutely missed that call. And that was horse. And you know what? Karma's a B, because guess what? Patrick Queen left the game with a hip injury, and away you go. So it is what it is at this point. But Josh is no saint. That I'll tell you right now, Josh is absolute no saint. He must have said something to really aggravate someone. And anytime you tell someone, another man, especially to SMD, bro, that's the ultimate disrespect. And I have a feeling that's it's got to be that's what he said, because anything else, I mean, come on. What else you got to say to piss somebody off that much? I got really love to know. I'm with you, man.
I don't know. If someone said that to me, it wouldn't have got me as mad as Cam Hayward was. Cam Hayward's been in the NFL since I was in 9th grade. And that guy had to have been as mad today as he's ever been playing this sport.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I got to imagine what you're referring to has been said to Cam Hayward once or twice on the gridiron during his illustrious career. So I don't know. And maybe nothing was said. Maybe I don't know what the hell happened. All I know is he didn't let it go the whole game. He was chirping at Allen the entire game.
He wanted Allen bad. And you know what? But the thing is, Allen's not Bryce Young. He's not 5'11", a buck 80. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm in your face. I'm 6'4", 6'5", 240, fam. Like, what are we doing here?
And that's why, Rico, when they scored that final touchdown and they just shoved him into the end zone, I'm like, oh. Like, for Hayward to be yelling at him all game, then for them to just bulldoze him in, Allen screaming after, I'm like, listen, because, you know, Romo said on the broadcast, and I thought it was funny. Romo's like, you don't want to piss Cam Hayward off. And Jim Nantz was like, yeah, you don't really want to piss Josh Allen off either. Right. And I think we wound up seeing who ended up winning that the battle this afternoon. It was clearly 17. But I'm dying to know.
Like, Cam Hayward's a veteran guy, and most likely this is his last year. I mean, let's just a small segment. Let's talk about this. Cam Hayward, old man, he's what was he, 37, 38, potentially. I don't even know how old he is, but I know he's up there. And then you got Aaron Rodgers. They just look tired. Man. Just tired, old, just call it a day. And nothing worse than when guys are losing. It just really makes them extra look tired. And when Aaron Rodgers took that pop, Zoe says hi. What's up, Zoe?
Zoe says hey.
Look at this guy. Look at dad over here. Zoe says hey. When you see when you saw that hit that he took when he, I don't know, broke his nose or bloody nose, there was a clip where they had the helmet half off his face. He was crunched up. It was a sad sight. It was a sad sight to watch Aaron Rodgers go out like this. And how do you like going out with the Pittsburgh Steelers? And rumor has it, he didn't even want to go to Pittsburgh. What he wanted was Minnesota. And he wanted to go to Minnesota. God, would that have been a better situation?
Use him. Did you see them today? Oh my God.
For a minute, I honestly thought that there was going to be a meme going around. Josh Allen / JJ McCarthy merged those two suckers together. I'm thankful that did not happen. We got another week that it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, man, those two boys look cute, look old, but kudos to the defense. The defense came through. Love to see it.
Rodgers, if he can't get rid of the ball instantly, you almost feel bad. Like it looks like a 40-some-year-old man back there. When Joey Bosa hit him, you were like, oh Lord,
dude,
he's an old guy standing there. And when he's patting the ball and nothing's open, right, and you're looking around, that's why I think Brady could still be playing at a high level. Brady snapped it. He knew exactly where he was going to go, got rid of it. And, throughout Aaron Rodgers' career, he's been great at that. But the one thing Rodgers was really good at, way more than Brady, Rodgers was really good at navigating the pocket. He was very nimble. He was very good at looking a lot. He was a lot more athletic than you would have given him credit for. That, of course, is gone. He's also banged up, and you're watching him back there, and he looks his age. And I think I don't want to say it's sad. The guy had a great career, and I give him credit for continuing it and wanting to still play. But it's moments like today where you see him standing there in the backfield there where you're like, this has got to be it. This has to be the end of the road this season. Because it's moments where you're in the backfield and nothing's open where, it's the NFL. Like, you got Joey Bosa coming around, you got guys coming after you. You're a 40-year-old man standing there like a statue. And it's just, it's tough to watch.
It is certainly tough to watch, but you know what's not tough to watch? There's a clip of Cam Hayward explaining his beef with Josh Allen, and let me play it for you right now. Thank you to 10K Drippy. My man Drippy was like, yo, go look, the video is up. So let me share my screen to allow us to see if there's anything that he reveals that we just don't know about. Please. So let's have a listen here.
Josh Allen seemed a little bit of frustration early on. Can you talk about it or
being kneed in my stomach? Just drawing back and forth, and then ticked off the entire game because as a quarterback they're protected, but I'm not. It just pisses me off.
You saying he need you or
yes,
someone else?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Did you cross the line throughout the game? Or was it
that was that one incident.
Was that on purpose by him?
Yes. He said after, I had to do something to get you off of me.
Kim, how do you put into words the frustration, the emotions that you feel individually in this locker room?
He's pissed.
Another loss.
Still.
Individually, I'm just concerned about this team.
All right.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I never saw that, and
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got 300 pounds of weight plus all these other guys on top of you, and you laying on me. Get off me, kid. And if I have to kind of give you a knee to get off me, I'm gonna give you a knee to get off me. Like, I'm the franchise quarterback, and you sitting here putting all your weight on me. I'm gonna kick you off of me. Yes. And you mad at that? Yo, and the worst part is, did he do it on purpose? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, you crybaby. That's why. Listen, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad no more. Bro, if you gonna put all your weight on me after I get tackled or whatever the case is, and you mad at me all game long because I need you in your tummy, boy, if you don't get your ass out of here, I ain't trying to eat all that. Yeah, get out of here.
How about to add to the sound bites? TJ Watt was asked about the Bills' rushing dominance. Watt goes, quote, "I've never seen a team run the same play that much and have that kind of success." So this was a bullying, man. This was a bullying. It really, really was. I don't know. I to the Cam Hayward point, I went back and watched that play. I was looking to see, because I didn't see Allen get in his face and say something, and I kept thinking to myself, what could he have said to have him that mad? And then I'm like, did he do something to him? And I didn't see anything. I mean, I doubt he's lying, but I don't think it was the way. I don't know.
He kicked me in my tummy. That's what he did. My tummy hurts now. I'm gonna be mad all game. Boy, if you don't, you a grown ass man, boy. There's been worse done to you in games. You can't tell me that you got mad because the quarterback gets protected. I don't get protected, bro. You're in the scrum. There's some nasty nonsense that goes down the scrum. The ref ain't gonna see everything. The ref is not gonna see everything. And you can't tell me in your illustrious career that you never did some dirty nonsense in the scrum. Maybe you're a stand-up guy, but there's nonsense that goes in the scrum. And because he needs you in your tummy, you gonna cry about it and be upset all game? Oh my Lord, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, listen.
But Allen was asked about this.
Oh,
he said, Dan Feeds tweeted it out. He said, Allen was asked, you and Cam Hayward seem to have been having a lot of exchanges. Did that get you going in the second half? Allen goes, maybe a little bit.
He's a petty mother effer, I'll tell you. But he didn't say what, did he? He didn't say the back and forth of what it was, did he? Or any?
Well, you nailed it. Like, Allen's like a grade A guy off the field. Everyone knows this. I wouldn't want to play against him. I would hate him if I had to play against him. There's a reason why everyone seems to share the same sentiment about him. Highest trash talking guy. Like, he is no saint on the field. That is for damn sure. And I don't blame these guys. You know, I would hate to play against him because not only is he a jar, right? But who backs it up more than him? I mean, you're one of the best players in the whole league. So it's even more frustrating. Like, it's one thing when the guy's talking, Rico, and it's, you know, it's whoever, just a guy. But when you are the guy and you're talking, right, and you can back that up and it can get you going even more, like, that's frustrating. That's frustrating to go against.
It certainly is frustrating. It doesn't change. It's just, that's just what he is, man. Until he retires, he's gonna frustrate a lot of people, and you're gonna have to just deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with it, folks. 17 is gonna piss you off. But he's doing it, breaking records. That's the best. That's the best part about this. Doing it, breaking records. Love to see it. By the way, side note. Oh, I was just looking at it. Side note here. Joe Brady. Got to talk about it. Got to talk about Joe Brady. I'll tell you this. I know people have been poo-pooing on Joe Brady, myself included. I want nothing to do with Joe Brady. I still to this day feel at the end of the season, yo, you got to dip. Got to go. Unless miraculously he starts opening up this offense and we start really jiving and the offense changes considerably, then you might get me to buy back in. I'm not bought back in just yet. However, I do have to give him respect. His game plan today was solid. Knowing full well that you have a backup right tackle, a backup left tackle, a backup tight end, whether you want to call him backup tight end, relegated to backup tight end, doesn't matter. It's all the same. You knew that you had to run the football. The Pittsburgh Steelers knew that you had to run the football, and you did it running the same play. To your testament of what you just said about what TJ Watt mentioned, I've never seen a team run the same play over and over again.
Romo wouldn't stop bringing it up either. Like, it was unbelievable. They ran that halfback dive like 40 times.
And here's the beautiful part about it. When you know, sometimes offensive coordinators get too cute and they start doing this one play and they're like, hey, it's working. You know what? Let me try something different. Let me get cute and run a jet sweep. There was none of that. He stuck to the game plan and ran the heck out of football. Today alone, James Cook had a career day. 35 touches in a game. The last time James Cook had that many touches, it was the Dallas Cowboys game when he ran, 280?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pop Warner football when he was in 7th grade.
Listen, 27 touches when he ran for 280 against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Today, 35 touches, 32 carries in this game. Big shout out to James Cook. Even though he fumbled it, he got his confidence back and he ran even harder after the fumble. And the fumble happened by him kneeing the thing out of his own hands. The point I'm trying to bring up is Joe Brady understood the assignment. He knew that we were not going to run pass the football. Keon Coleman coming back from sitting for 2 games. You got a Brandon Cooks that just got here 4 or 5 days ago. Got 1 reception. That was it. Call it. It didn't ice it up. You had a Khalil Shakir that didn't get his first reception until like the 3rd quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And Gabe Davis, I think, had no receptions. Not surprised. And Josh throwing the football to him gets intercepted. So nothing shocking to me. And no Kincaid. So the point was going to be to run the football. And the brother never got cute. He just said, we got to do what we got to do. Hey, fellas, I'm counting on you. We're going to run that football and we're not going to stop. And guess what? We're going to run at TJ Watt. They ran at TJ Watt all day, every day. It was such a beautiful thing to see. I know it wasn't a sexy game, but Joe Brady does deserve some credit for keeping the game plan, doing what needs to be done, getting the win and not stopping. Kudos to him. You got to give him credit for that. It was simple, but it was effective. Run the ball, don't stop. And if they can't stop it, keep running it and keep running it until they do. And guess what? That's exactly what took place, man. Got the win, got out of Dodge. And guess what? The man is feeling so good about himself. he's tweeting that he's 1-0. Look at this. He doesn't tweet often, but here he is right now talking about, hey, we 1-0, baby. Joe Brady, 1-0. So you know what? You know, he was feeling it. I think he felt good about it. And the fact that my man is tweeting it. And you know what? His tweets are always the same thing. Look at this. 1-0. 1-0. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Yes, you can. Right? 1-0. That's all he does is talk about the 1-0. So,
well, you know, there should be a couple of 0-1s in there too for some of the things that he's done this season as well.
Well, listen, he's only talking about the 1-0s.
Look it. In terms of shining a positive light on Joe Brady, this game did nothing for me in that regard. If I never see that Khalil Shakir screen again, it'll still be too soon. That play needs to be put into a endless inferno. I'm talking a vat of lava. Throw it in there and then dump even more kerosene on top of that. I never want to see that play again. Everybody knows it's coming now. I can't believe they got away with it for as long as they wound up getting away with it for. The Chiefs game is where I thought it was going to stop. Remarkably, it actually wound up working in that game. I thought Spagnuolo was going to be all over that. I was stunned he wasn't. You saw since then, though, it's never worked. Joe Brady throughout this year has also ran several of the same plays several times throughout a football game, and it just didn't work. You're right. I'll give him credit. The run game was working today, and they didn't shy away from it. It did have many shades of that Dallas Cowboys game that you were referring to, and I'll give them credit there. But the credit really has to be given to this backup offensive line and James Cook for taking advantage of it. Because throughout the season, they have dialed up several of the same schemes, several of the same plays, several of the same approaches throughout a football game that have not worked. There were moments throughout this game that I was left scratching my head yet again, where I'm like, what is the approach here? It just feels like there's still nothing changed. This team still can't throw the football. Guess how many receptions there were today by receivers?
2, I'm guessing.
5. 5 total receptions by receivers. I cannot give Joe Brady an A+ grade today because James Cook went off on the ground and they bullied the hell out of this defensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because that wasn't anything Joe Brady did. You're right. I'll give him credit for continuing to stick with the run and not getting cute. You're right. But is that really what we should be sitting around giving credit for, Rico? If we're sitting around praising not getting cute, and then I guess the bar right now is awfully low. You are right. They didn't get cute, and thankfully they didn't, because all throughout the year, more often than not, when they've gotten cute, the result wasn't very cute, Rico. In fact, it was the opposite, right? So, yes, credit to continuing to go to that run game. It did not ever get stopped, and credit to them for continuing to pound the rock. But there was nothing today that showed you any sign of creativity, any sign of differencing, any sign of a difference. The pass game was completely non-existent yet again. And yes, the run game was what won them the football game, and they didn't have to go away from it. But at the end of the day, Allen still threw the ball 23 times, and there were 5 receptions by receivers. How many games are you going to win like that? Now, can the Bills go into the postseason and run the football for 4 straight games to win the Super Bowl? Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding you right now. The AFC is so wide open. If you told me that the Super Bowl wound up being the Jacksonville Jaguars and the LA Rams, I'd believe you. That's the way that the season is going right now. And speaking of the Rams, the Panthers, who the Bills took the belt out on a couple of weeks ago, just beat those Rams. So the league is insane. The Chicago Bears, folks, are the 1 seed in the NFC if the season ended today. So I don't know what's going on. Could the Bills get into the postseason, run the rock like that, and win it? Sure. But there's still no semblance of a pass game. And today there was nothing done by Joe Brady that I sat there and said, hey, Joe Brady took advantage of those last 10 days off and they got cooking. They just were able to run the football exceptionally well today, Rico.
Well, I mean, and nothing you said is wrong. That you cooked there. It's true that nothing really changed. But we also knew it was on the road, windy, cold, and we have 2 backup tackles. You're gonna jeopardize your quarterback by making him drop back many times to try to throw the football to a brand new receiver in Brandon Cooks, a guy that sat for 2 days, a no Kincaid, Shavers is a special teamer, and you got a screen receiver in Khalil Shakir. What? Of course he's not going to do that. He's not putting his quarterback in jeopardy. Could you imagine if he did the opposite and dropped back my man 40 plus times Why would you drop him back 40 times and
No,
this sacked and this, that, and third? Bro, I think he did a phenomenal job by saying, you know what? Let me protect my quarterback. And if my run game is working, bro, let's just settle down and just run the football. And if there's a couple passes we got to make here and there, we're going to make it. Now, was it anything special? Absolutely not. Did he have to do anything special? Absolutely not. The same way that we took care of business against the Dallas Cowboys, where we didn't really have to do anything because everything was working, running the football. Calmate. We did all right today. Now, can we see something next week? That's when I'm with you, because like I said, I'm with you. I'm not sold in on him, but today alone, where we just handled business, I love it. Next week, if he continues to keep the same BS going, then we got a problem. But we're only getting colder weather. We're only getting in the windier weather. So this is where maybe we start leaning on the run game and less on the pass game. But in this game, we can't do that. We got to throw the football.
Well, but the thing is, that's all they've ever wanted to do. That's all they've ever wanted to do, really, all year is lean on the run game. When they are unable to run the football, though, Rico, they can't win. I mean, that's the problem. So it looked great today because they were able to run the football, right? But when this team can't run, they don't have an offense. I mean, they still only scored 3 points in the first half. When they did need to throw the football, you weren't feeling particularly confident about it. And luckily for them, they get that touchdown from the defense in the second half. They're set up in positive territory off the interception. They never really had to throw the football in this game. So you're absolutely right. Yeah. Him continuing to go back to Cook, and I will give him credit. There was some designed run games or runs for Allen today, which I liked. I don't think we've seen enough of that. But the thing of it is, this offense is predicated on being able to run the football. And if they can't do it, they're in trouble. Today, they were able to do it. And I think you've seen throughout the year when they can run it, Rico, they're more likely than not to beat you. When they can run the football, they are very likely to beat you. But I just look at this game, and I do think that it was more the ability to just, because you're running a half, like nothing's special about running that run play. You're running a halfback dive. You're just winning at the line of scrimmage and dominating. So you give credit to being willing to stick with what's working and not getting cute, like you mentioned. I'm not looking at this game as an indictment on Joe Brady, but with the body of work throughout the 2025 season, it's certainly not a game that I look at and say, oh, it looked like there was a noticeable improvement between this game and the last game.
No, you're right with that. And when you make it like that, then it's fair game. I just like the balance that we had today, where we didn't really have to open things up and running the football, but at the same time, we're going to need it, because when we can't run the ball, like you said, that's when things get dicey. And this is when we get frustrated with Joe Brady, and the same. So touche on that point. But hey, listen, I'll take this win. I think we'll all take this win, and we keep Josh upright. No sacks today. O-line held him down. We'll take it. We'll take it. Now, knowing what you know, and seeing the Bills sitting now at 8-4, we go back home against Cincy. Is there anybody, were you surprised when, and I'm going with this, were you surprised not to see Josh Palmer on the field today? Were you surprised not to see Kincaid on the field today? Did that throw you off? Do you think that threw off the passing game? Maybe there was something that was in place, and then they realized, holy crap, we don't got two guys that we expected to see a lot more of. Did that throw things off? And do you think that was why offense looked the way they looked? Next week is going to be different because we'll see these guys on the field, but nonetheless, this week, how'd you feel about those two guys not being there? And did that affect the way they wanted to, do this offense and put something on tape, so if you will?
I don't think that the Bills are in any position to be looking at it like that. Like I've heard that, right? Where, they're not putting X, Y, and Z on tape. No, like they're not good enough offensively to be stashing away their best stuff. I just have not felt that way about this team all year. I feel like that's a convenient excuse for people to kind of overlook the inadequacies of this offense from time to time. But when you're without Dalton Kincaid, you go into any game feeling far worse about your passing offense than you would with him out there. And you're already not feeling particularly great when he is out there, just because the pass offense hasn't been good all year long. But he is your best weapon in the pass game unequivocally this year. I mean, there's just no question about it. When you're without him, you certainly feel worse than you would if you had him. And then you add Josh Palmer too, of course. That's a guy that you'd much rather have than not, because they really don't have anybody, right? You got Brandon Cooks out there. Gabe Davis now signed to the active roster. You had to take Keon Coleman and put him back in there, right? So there's nothing about this pass offense right now, Rico, that you really do feel great about other than Josh Allen going out there and having an unbelievable game? The only way that this pass game is going to be adequate enough to go the distance is if Josh Allen looks like the MVP throughout the duration of the football game. If he turns the ball over, they can't throw it, and then they're getting stopped on the ground, they are in a world of trouble. Because going into the halftime of this game this afternoon, 4 consecutive quarters, 6 total points. You know, and I'm seeing my man Top Retired in the chat. Bot, can you be happy for the win today? It's okay. No, I'm thrilled with the win. A loss today would have been massively detrimental to this football team.
Facts.
But I do not watch that game and think that the Bills' offensive woes have been solved because they went out there and pounded the rock the way they did against Pittsburgh. I've seen them pound the rock throughout the year here. I've also seen games, though, where they go out and they're not able to run the football and they have nothing else. They have no other answer. And that's not what it's supposed to be when you have the MVP at quarterback and one of the best to ever play the position. You don't feel confident about this pass game in any capacity. There's nothing about this outing that made you feel any better about it. And I know that they didn't need it today, so that's fine. But there's been several games throughout the season in which they have needed it, and it was nowhere to be found. It was non-existent. It didn't show up. There wasn't some magic play that they're stashing away that they didn't bring out of the bag of tricks to go out there and end up winning the football game because they didn't do it, right? So I think that this pass game is what it is right now. The receiving core is what it is. And we've seen moments throughout this year as well. Baltimore, Kansas City. If Josh Allen's having one of the best games of his season, then they're fine. But that's what they need in order for the pass game to be great. What this team really needs, Rico, is a defensive performance like today and for James Cook to have a game like he did today. And we've known throughout the year here, James Cook more often than not is going to have a really good game, right? So this is the formula that's best serving Buffalo right now. Running the football, dominating time of possession. I mean, once again, I'm Top Retired, I love you. But like my goal right now my goal as a Buffalo Bills fan in this stage of Josh Allen's career, it's not to be ecstatic about a victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 13. I am very satisfied and happy with the victory. At halftime, this team looked like they were on their way to a loss. I mean, let's be honest. They looked like they were on their way to a loss. They were not playing well. We cannot let the final 30 minutes of that football game erase what this Bills team has been several times throughout this football season, including the last time they played and including 30 of the 60 minutes of this football game. The goal for this team is to go to the Super Bowl. And I think right now, based on the landscape of the AFC, they have as decent of a chance as anybody. I'm not denying that. But it's going to have to go through Josh Allen being the best player in the game, and they're going to have to be able to run the football. Simple as that.
You're absolutely right with that. And I'm going to add a little something that people are not going to be pleased about. But, hey, we have to be objective. We talk about the pass game not being good enough, and Bot, you mentioned it, and you couldn't have been correct, because if we can't run the football, then we're doomed, because we're not creative enough. We don't have enough firepower at the receiver position. But let's not shy away and all of a sudden absolve this individual from being better at his position, and that's also Josh Allen. Josh Allen did complete 15 of 23, but this guy could have had 3 or 4 more completions that he threw. He just threw bad balls. The first bad ball, the slant that he threw to Gabe Davis that he threw for an interception, that should not have been picked. He rushed his throw. He threw that interception. He had a throw to Keon Coleman that could have been easily caught by Khalil Shakir. Throws it behind Khalil Shakir when he could have just threw it easy to him, and away we go. One to Keon Coleman, I think it was a slant to Keon, whips it right into Keon the way you didn't have to. There were certain things that Josh Allen could have done a lot better to put himself and his offense in a better situation, passing the football. But that there were some bad throws from him, which then obviously contributes to some of the woes that we had in the passing game. So although the passing game is not as strong as it once was, obviously you can attribute that to the receivers not being, on it. The O-line having some struggles here and there, obviously the last game, and Josh not being accurate. Let's call it a buck here. Josh has issues being accurate, and one of the things that held us back a little bit was his accuracy today. Now, can he be better? Will he be better? Yes. Will there be moments where, the offense will start to jive a little bit more? Absolutely, but he's got to be better. There's no question about it. We're not going to talk about, the run game or the defense, and everybody has some faults except for that guy. No. Not that you're not calling it out, but 17 has to be better. There were some throws today that he could have been made much better, made the offense move forward, made Brady look good, and away we go. So those two got to be in sync, because, I mean, there are moments that are not, but then Josh has to be more accurate, and he hasn't been this year. And now that we have Brandon Cooks, and he's the deep threat, and I missed that first throw to Brandon Cooks as I was coming from soccer, so I didn't see it. I got to go back, but it was early in the game where it was like a 13-yarder. But once we start going deep, we're going to have to see the accuracy get a little better from our guy, Josh, right? There was two easy touchdowns he could have had to Keon. One of them was an easy one. It was an improvisation, pump fake, threw it in there, boom. He couldn't have had another one to Keon, but a little bit of inaccuracy and the drop. But he can be better. But we're not gonna just poo-poo on him and poo-poo on the rest of the team and not, put him involved in that. But I do want to switch it to now where we can get to good news, because now Josh Allen, the same guy that we talk about couldn't be accurate in passing, boy, can he run the football. He's breaking records yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen, 76 rushing touchdowns. It was 8 years in now, 8 years into the league, almost going on 9. 76 rushing touchdowns. Now he holds the all-time record for quarterbacks rushing touchdown. Kudos to Josh Allen, 76. And now, by the way, he's got another game that he can add to the record books of having a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. The guy's unbelievable. Although he has his faults here and there, the guy is elite and unbelievable nonetheless. So glad we have that guy. Will he have some off days? Yes. Will he have some amazing days? Absolutely. And those are the ones that we're so accustomed to seeing. A bad day is not often. We see much more great things coming from Josh by the bad, but this, what an absolute great feat. 76 rushing touchdowns, better than a whole lot of guys. Right now, what? Do you think he gets to 100? Do you think
in his
Josh
career
Allen get to 100 career rushing touchdowns by the time it's all said and done?
Oh, God, yeah. 100, a million percent, yes. Absolutely.
Okay, I'll take it. Because I was talking about it today. I was like, could he get to 100? I mean, that's another.
He would only have to say, even over a 4-year period, he'd have to average less than 6 rushing touchdowns a year to get to that.
Oh yeah, he's got to get that.
Oh my God, he's getting to that. He is 100% getting to that.
That's crazy, and that record will stand for a long time. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I don't know where
Jalen Hurts might be the only one to threaten it because of the touch,
or maybe Lamar, but I don't think Lamar is not even close to where Josh is at this point. So
no,
Jalen Hurts might be the only guy. You might be right with that. Golly, that's impressive. Or maybe see Jay Daniels.
I wouldn't put my money on it. The guy is he's unbelievable. And I thought today it wasn't his greatest game. I think we've said that more often than not this year, unfortunately. But I thought the one thing I noticed from him today, he maneuvered around the pocket about as well as I've seen. He made a couple of what would be sacks into incredible misses. You mentioned the Keon Coleman touchdown. It looked easy. It was anything but easy. If he were to have thrown that ball to where it was supposed to go, so he's looking to the left side on that, Rico. It's 4th down, by the way. If they don't score that touchdown, then obviously you don't get anything. He's looking to the left side. There's a Steeler defender that's jumping up, hands in the air. And if Allen were to throw it, it's tipped. But he doesn't. He faked it, which was just a beautiful recognition by him. Goes back, steps up, and finds Keon. It was an incredible play. It's a dump-off touchdown, a couple yards. I don't think anybody's going to look much into it. But it was a really, really solid play that not everybody in the league's making. It was an incredibly savvy football play. And I thought the ability to shake out of some sacks today was pretty impressive. I thought that he was able to get guys off of them better than we've seen recently. It wasn't his greatest game, but it didn't need to be today. And I thought in the moments where they did need him to be good, or they needed him to be big, I thought he stepped up today in those areas, especially like you said, with the physicality and the movement. And give credit to Joe Brady for giving him the opportunity to run a couple of designs. I just don't think they do it enough, and I hope we'll see it more down the stretch here. I think we typically do see that more down the stretch. They like to preserve it a bit, but I just thought the ability to kind of shake and bake in the backfield today against a couple of really stout players on that D line. I thought that was the one thing from his game that stood out today. And that Coleman touchdown, definitely stood out to me because I just didn't think it was as easy as met the eye, and it had a lot to do with Josh Allen being able to make the right play. And we've seen at times this year, like I didn't even realize this. I don't know if you saw in that Houston game when the ball got tipped, what's his face, who went nuts against the Bills on the D line there for Houston.
Anderson.
Yep. So it was either Ty Johnson or Ray Davis that was wide open on the right side, and he jumped up and tipped it. I didn't realize until I watched the all 22 on that. Not only was it a guaranteed first down, it might have been a touchdown. And of course, they would go on to not get the first down. The ball game was over. Ball got tipped. This could have happened on that fourth down here. Allen faked it, got it to Coleman. I loved it. So just little stuff like that you love to see because it adds up.
No, you're not wrong. You're bang on that. And that pump fake was amazing. Boom, got the man in the air, got in there, and he whipped that thing in there hard. So that's the thing, man. You take and we've known this for ages now. You take the great with the sometimes bad from Allen. And I'll take the great because this guy makes constantly great plays. Speaking of great, I've been saying this for the last, and you guys have heard me document and say this, the last 3 weeks now, that somebody needs to step up in this locker room and be vocal. There needs to be a players only meeting or something of that nature where they gather either the offense or defense, or somebody steps up and says something. And Sean McDermott spoke on something today that I'm so happy to hear. And if somebody's going to do it, this would obviously be the guy that just joined the team and is the one doing the talking. And that was Shaq Thompson. Apparently, Shaq Thompson had a few words for the team. And this is Sean McDermott speaking on that. Let me share my screen so you guys can see it. And you guys can hear for yourselves. Listen to this.
What's he done to fit in so well into this defense?
Yeah, well, he knows the defense coming from Carolina. He's a dog. He plays with an edge. He leads with his voice. Did a great job leading the team this week. Spoke to the team. I think it was Friday, I believe it was, and stood right up there and challenged them. And that's what leadership is right there. There's a couple different ways to lead. That's one of them.
You mentioned
this is the type of crap I love. This is what I've been asking for. Somebody say something. Step up. We can't just all just lean on our individual talents and just silently do your jobs and call it a day. No, sometimes you need someone that says, hey, everybody gather up. So now everybody's like, oh, what's going on? Who's talking? Shaq Thompson, the guy that came in after 1 year as a free agent. He sat down silently as a backup, and now that he's getting on the field, he's getting more playing time, and he's looking good. Bro, he better not relinquish that position. I really mean it. But the fact is this. He came in and says, yo, we need to step up. We need to show up. And you heard McDermott call him yourself. We need some dogs, and he's a dog. Bro, we need to get more dogs on this team, man. We don't got enough. You have the one older free agent being the dog that says, yo, everybody gather up, let's talk. Bro, this gives me so much joy, and I hope that this permeates into guys like Dion. It permeates into guys like Josh Allen. Permeates into a guy like Brandon Cooks that just joined the team, a 12-year vet. We need guys. Some of those things are the things that make the difference on these franchises that make you just a playoff team or a championship team. And this guy coming in and doing those things makes me absolutely pleased. So big shout out to Shaq Thompson. They better not put this guy back on the bench. He deserves to stay as a starter. And then we'll deal with when Bernard comes back. So big shout out. Love to see it. Your thoughts when you hear 1 year guy comes in and starts talking and galvanizing and get the team together. Does that make you feel like, all right, we got something here? Or that's his job. He's a professional. You shouldn't be swayed by that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I certainly think it's part of his job, and that's what I like about signings like this. And when he was brought in, he had nothing but glowing things to say about Sean McDermott. He said it was noticeable, the culture that he's built within Buffalo. He seemed really privileged to be a part of it. I'm glad to see him doing well. I mean, this is a guy you come from that organization in Carolina, and obviously haven't had much success. I think when you're somebody like him, you're somebody like Bosa or really any of these guys, Jordan Poyer coming from Miami, right? I think you understand the opportunity you have here. Obviously, this season hasn't been as great as we were all hoping, but they are still 8-4, and whatever they want to accomplish, and we all want them to accomplish, is still on the table, right? At the end of the day, 1 seed or 7 seed, you got to get in. They're paving the path towards doing that. Easier said than done in Miami, right, Rico? Easier said than done in Carolina. I think these guys understand the opportunity at hand, and I think that that's why it might mean a little bit more to them, right? I think when maybe you're, not to say it doesn't mean something to everybody, but when you're drafted into success and every year it's a winning season and every year you're going to the playoffs, I think you can't have the fire within you that those who have had no success now find themselves in when they go to a team that is set up for success. I think that you just probably wanted a bit more because you know what it's like to not succeed. You know what it's like to be on the outside looking in time after time after time, right? So I'm stoked for Shaq. I love when they brought him in because it felt like he was a McDermott guy. And now when you're seeing the opportunities be given to him, I think it's moments like this that you realize this is why it means a lot to a guy like him, right? It means something to be able to come in and take advantage of the opportunity that you have with a team that has probably given you the best shot you've had to win. Plus, how much longer is your career going to be, right? You don't know how many more of these opportunities you're going to have. Love seeing it get capitalized on.
No, you banged it. You banged that one, man. It's nice to see, and you hope that this is like a fresh start. They always talk about how this team, come the month of December, this is when they turn things around, and this is when we start to see the real Bills show up, and this is when real football starts. So everything you just said there, we hope that from that point forward, that's what you start seeing going forward, like that type of energy and execution at the end of the day. So that's what we're hoping for. So like Brady tweeted, 1-0. We're 1-0, and that's the 1-0 that I'll absolutely gladly take. And the Bills being at 8-4, to see. So now we got some things to do. We got a big opponent next week in the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know what we're gonna get with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's different. That defense is up in the air. I mean, you have some good performances and you have some bad ones. I mean, what you want to call that performance against the Ravens last week? I mean, the last past Thursday. I don't know if it's Ravens being horrible or not great, or just, that's what you couldn't wait to do that. That's the one.
I think in large, not even that I couldn't wait. That was bad. They had 5 turnovers in that game, Rico. 5. Why don't you go ahead and pull up the playoff picture for all of us? This is an insane year. This is an insane year. This win was so big. In no way am I discounting this W, because a loss in this game would have been really detrimental, because it is so tight right now. And I'm telling you, I thought, and this is shame on me really for buying into a team like wholeheartedly when this year has been what it was. Like when I've watched the Rams recently, I'm looking at that team like that's just, they're far and away the best team in the NFL. And in many ways, I think they still are. They got, the Panthers kind of did whatever they wanted against them today. They ran it down their throat. And then when Bryce Young had to throw it, he threw it, man.
He did. That throw the Tet, we had a time, 4th and 2 or something like that.
4th down. It was 4th down. It was a dot.
Unreal.
So, dude, it's wide open. And then when you're looking at right now, Houston on the outside, Baltimore on the outside, KC on the outside. The Colts, a blink of an eye ago, it felt like a 1 seed might be on lock. They have the same record as Buffalo right now.
Yep.
You have the Patriots at 10-2, right? They have the Giants on Monday night. I do think that that's probably a W, but hey, I've seen Jackson dart ball out in prime time. He'll be back for New York. We've also seen some crazy Giants upsets over the Patriots in our day, right?
Certainly have.
But man, oh man, it is as wide open. This is why with the Bills, in terms of how they've looked this year, Rico, I don't watch the Bills and say they look like they're going to win the Super Bowl like I have in years past, or they look like they're good enough to do it. It's more so I watch the league and I think, yeah, the Bills haven't been like great this year. And I haven't really felt like they are a Super Bowl favorite. But then I watch the rest of the league and I don't really feel like that about anybody. And I thought that about the Eagles a couple weeks ago. They look bad offensively. I have never seen a team with that much talent, Rico, suffer that extravagantly. The talent on offense and the inability to do anything with it makes absolutely no sense to me. Then the Rams I'm thinking this is the best team. The Panthers ran the ball down their throat today. Bryce Young. The Bills beat that same team 40-9, right? So the way I look at it, like the Bills just got to get in. Easier said than done with the Chiefs not looking good, right? I mean, we could talk about that real quick. I mean, what did you make of Thanksgiving here? You had the Chiefs in a must-win game, Rico, against the Cowboys lose. And then you had Baltimore must-win game. They got destroyed.
Look how excited Z-Bot is.
It's just an insane year. And the reason I'm excited is because
destroyed. Well, let's talk about it.
Rico, why not Buffalo at the end of the day? Why not?
Why not? You're absolutely right. Because take a look. Let's go to the teams that are on the bubble right now. So right now, as of right now, the Bengals got a 2% chance to make the playoffs. That AFC North is very wonky, right? The team leading the AFC North are the Ravens at 6-6. Okay, they're at a 71% chance to make the playoffs. But they're
what are the Bills at right now? By what did it go up to?
Well, okay, the Bills right now with that win, they're at 91% chance to make the playoffs. Okay,
great.
Just before this game, if they lost this game, they would have been at a 71% chance to make the playoffs. So they were still in decent position, but not great. At 7-5 would have been a nasty loss. So
by the way, I think they were at 83 going in. So that's a sizable little jump there for that victory.
Absolutely. But it would have been a sizable dump too at 71%. So let's look at this, right? AFC. So the AFC, obviously the Bengals are at a 2% chance to make the playoffs. Then you go to the Steelers with this loss today, puts them at 66. They're at 28. They dropped to a 28% chance to make the playoffs. How the mighty have fallen. They went from number 1 to now 28% chance to make the playoffs. And right now you have the Ravens at 71% chance to make the playoffs based on these results today. So they're looking mighty good. But they're only 2 games. The Bengals are 2 games away. Obviously, we got to handle business against the Bengals next week. So the Dolphins, 5-7. We still got to keep winning because, I mean, they're creeping. They don't have a chance, but you just never know. They have the head-to-head against us. So things are dicey. Look at the Chiefs. 36% chance to make the playoffs. I saw Pat Mahomes on the bench, and when he knew that the game was a wrap, you could see he was just like, damn it. Like, we needed this game, and we're just not playing enough. Like, that third down, that play that he made on 3rd and long,
where
he hops, skips, and almost falls. You got to give this guy love, man. That guy, unbelievable. But here they are, 10th in the AFC division, in the conference, and they're at a 36% chance to make the team. The Texans were dead in the water. They win today's game despite the trash play of CJ Stroud. They are 62. I would not be surprised if they went back to Davis Mills and said, bro, you're not doing it for us. 62% chance for these guys to make the playoffs. The Texans are sitting on the bubble.
That defense is single-handedly winning them games. They did it again today.
Yeah. Their run game is decent, nothing great. Nico Collins, at least they have a number 1 receiver, Nico Collins, so they can throw the football. Is just, and they got a tight end, so they can put points on the board, but their quarterback is just not making good decisions. So Texans are right now on the bubble at 7-5. Had we lost today's game, I think we obviously would have been sitting out, and the Texans would have been in the 7th spot. Yep. That's how bad it would have been if we lost that game. So here we are, 91% chance for the Bills, 69% chance for the Colts. Look at that. The Colts at one point were a 1 seed, and it looks like they were running away with it. They're now at a 69% chance to make the playoffs.
And let's just add into how much more interesting this gets. Sauce Gardner injured in that football game for the Colts. 2 first-round draft picks. He has to get helped into the locker room. I read from someone in the chat earlier, Justin Herbert needs surgery on his hand after the game against the Raiders today. Don't look now, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are 8-4. Don't look now, but the Washington Commanders just took the lead on the Denver Broncos before the half. Okay?
With Mariota quarterbacking? What?
This is what Denver has no offense. They don't have an offense. Bo Nix has a worse passer rating than Justin Fields.
You're not sold on these Denver Broncos. This is the second time that you're poo-pooing on Denver.
Going into last week, Bo Nix had a worse passer rating than Justin Fields, who's benched for Tyrod Taylor, who looked phenomenal today, by the way. Shout out to my GOAT, T2. T-Mobile Ty God. I love that guy. And he played phenomenal against the Atlanta Falcons team that I still cannot believe that this Buffalo Bills team lost to. I cannot believe it. If they would have just won that one game, one of the two, Miami or in Atlanta, how much easier things would be right now, and you would have a legitimate chance at that 1 seed, the way things have been panning out, right? To the Denver point, here's the thing. They're like Houston to me, where the Bills could easily lose to them. The defense, as good as that defense is, it would shock nobody if Buffalo went into Mile High and lost because that defense went off. Just like that last week when the Bills went into Houston, they had 8 sacks. They won the football game with Davis Mills. They couldn't even score in the second half, right? It wouldn't shock me. But do I look at Denver at 9-2 and think, yeah, that's a team that I'm putting in pen to go to the Super Bowl? Hell no. And I don't feel that way about anybody. And you're looking at it right now. And if you want to pull that back up, let's talk about the quarterbacks in the AFC, right? Because if Herbert's got to get surgery, you're talking about Drake May in his second year. You're talking about Trevor Lawrence, who's never won a playoff, or excuse me, the only playoff game he lost was that complete debacle against the Chargers where Brandon Staley blew, what, a 24-point lead? The only win that they have, right? You're talking about Daniel Jones, great year, but he's banged up. And if we're talking about the trust tree here, I don't think we got Daniel Jones in our trust tree until we see a couple of playoff games rattled off here, right? I don't think we can say that. Bo Nix, and I understand Denver's having a hell of a year. Do you remember what the Bills did to them in the wild card a season ago? I know it's different years, but it's Bo Nix who has not been good this year. That offense is not good. Drake May, like I said, year 2. Justin Herbert, I don't even know who'd have to come in there. And then the winner of the North. And that's where I feel like the North could be scary because it could be Burrow. By the grace of God, it could be Burrow somehow or Lamar. But we know the track record Lamar's had in the postseason, right? So at the end of the day, I guess my main point here is there's no Mahomes. And when there's no Mahomes, Rico, who has gone to the AFC Championship every single year of his career as a starter, look at that picture in front of you. Your eyes are not deceiving you. The Chicago Bears are the 1 seed in the NFC. The Patriots, the 1 seed. But if you look at the AFC, which matters, of course, the most to us, look at that picture. And you could not, with any certainty, predict one team to go over another. You just could not. It is so open. It's crazy.
So you're saying we got a chance?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm also saying, as much as I don't like Denver's offense, that defense could win 4 games for them and win a Super Bowl. As much as I don't like Jacksonville, I mean, they could find a way to do it. They're 8-4. They got the same record as Buffalo. I think Jacksonville is one of the teams right now that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about Jacksonville like they're 8-4, right? The Chargers 8-4, but they haven't looked. They've gotten steamrolled a couple of times this year, right? Like it's just so open, Rico.
It's very open, and this is why I love the NFL because there's a lot of parity right now. And this it's not a hot take per se, but I kind of like the Bills in this position, the position of like not being the number 1 seed and just racking up wins at the number 1 seed. I want them to know what it feels like to lose, and then come together and get gritty and start getting on a run. So I kind of like them in this hunger stage instead of like, we got the number 1 seed and we're good, right? I know there's a sense of hunger when you're already in first and you want to maintain that first place, but that first place can jump left, right, center. As long as we keep stringing together wins, whether they're ugly or not, just putting the wins together, but understanding that we got to get gritty and get them. That's what I want to see. So that being said, looking at this playoff machine, you're not wrong, right? The Denver Broncos, to me, I still think Denver is a good damn team. And I get what you're saying.
They're a good team. I'm not denying that.
And I guess I'm saying, like, I don't fear them, but I'm like, that's not a team that I'd like to see. I'll be honest with you, because that pass rush, all that stuff.
Who would you like to see on that?
Who would I like to see? Honestly, none. But at the same time,
that's what I mean.
They're probably feeling the same way about the Bills too, because 8-4 Bills, like the Denver Broncos do not want to see the Bills at that. So it's very even. So
yes,
as long as we start to get healthy and find our rhythm, we could be such a nasty team. So to me, if we become the 7th, 6th, 5th seed, whatever the hell it is that we become, hey, we ain't got to face the Chiefs. We ain't got to face the Ravens. I mean, we'll see how that all plays out at the end of the day. But like, nobody really scares me per se. But there's some good defenses here. I was talking about it the other day. The Denver Broncos, great defense, can run the football. The Jacksonville Jaguars, their defense is steady. They will run the football. Every team that you see here can and will run the football. It's about stopping the run and doing something on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see. Here's the game that I want to play with you right now. So we obviously the week is ended. This, let's just say the Broncos win it. Should we just go there and just say the Broncos win it? Because I want to get into next week.
Yes.
Would you give that to the Broncos or leave that open for now?
No, if I had to put money, I would. Yeah, I think Denver pulls it out tonight.
Patriots, you say would pull it off? Would you say? Tomorrow night.
Don't make me say it, but yes.
Don't make me say it. Let's just play the game.
Yeah.
So Patriots win it. Denver squeaks out the win today. So this is what it would look like. Nothing really changes in this regard. All right.
Hold on. Before you move forward, I just want to say, as we look at that, before we change anything,
Yes.
would you agree playoff experience matters?
Yes. Absolutely. So
The Buffalo Bills,
experience.
I mean, dude, if you're looking at that alone, I mean, I know you can't win on that alone.
Yep.
But I mean, it's something that the rest of them don't have, and the only other one that has it is Lamar, and the Bills have beat him both times.
Playoff experience. I mean, Daniel Jones has been to the playoffs
One time.
So whether you want to call it that or not, it is what it is. But that matters. He's not been great in the playoffs. So that matters.
One win for Lawrence, 0 wins for Nix, 0 wins for Daniel Jones, 0 wins for Herbert, a couple wins for Lamar, and obviously 0 wins for May. And then there's Allen.
So it does quite literally does matter. So let's keep that in mind. We go to week 14 just for fun. All right. So this game really doesn't matter. Don't really care. Let's give it to the Jets.
Watch out for Tyrod.
Listen, we like Tyrod.
I love Tyrod.
And it seems as though Tyrod has found his receiver in A.D. Mitchell. So look out for that. All right. This is a big one. Let's chalk it up. Let's chalk it up to the Ravens taking this one. Based on what I saw today from Pittsburgh, I can't see. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers come out and whoop on the Ravens, shocking. I'm going to give that to the Ravens.
I would too.
Who cares? This is a big one.
That's it, dude. Next week?
Wow.
How about next weekend, Rico? Look at this slate of games. This is just hitting me for the first time.
This is a big one. Listen, Daniel Jones with the bum knee or the bum leg, if you will. I'll slide over and say,
am I nuts to take Jacksonville at home there right now?
Yeah, I mean, the home team, you got to take it. Let's just say that's the case. This is interesting. Both rookies.
Huge.
That'll be good. I'd love to see these guys are just bad. They're just bad.
That's a one overall pick game type situation.
Absolutely. And he'll have bragging rights. This is what you got. All right, here we go. Who cares? So we'll say I'll take Washington over that one. Give me Seattle over Atlanta, but you never know with that. This one here. I mean, obviously we need this one. We need it. We're at home. No excuses. We're not facing Lou Anaromo. We're facing a team that doesn't have Lou. Give me the Bills over the Bengals. Okay. I know it's tough. Jamar Chase is coming to town. T. Higgins, if he's not concussed, he's coming to town. Who knows? But I'd have to say, if we're trying to make a run here, pick the Bills. We might have to return. We'll see how the scenarios work. Broncos, I mean, listen, this is a no-brainer to me.
That game is huge.
This is a big one. Week 14,
there are some crazy games.
There are some good ones. Listen, I don't know this one, man. That's a matchup. I'm not gonna.
Green Bay. The second I'm out on their bat, like they look good against Detroit.
Listen, give me Green Bay at home. Give me Green Bay. I think the Cinderella, the little shoe falls off the Bears on this little run they have. Give me Green Bay. Give me LA. LA is gonna want to bounce back.
How about Sunday Night Football? Right where you're about to go here. Wow.
This is something. And you know what? I think this continues. You know what?
How is Kansas City going to score?
CJ Stroud bugs me. He bugs me, man. He bugs me. But just for fun, we'll give it to the Texans. And then we got, this is an interesting one here too.
Yeah. But if Herbert's hurt,
give me the Eagles. So what does it look like? Bills go to the 5th. Baltimore 4th. Jacksonville remains in 3rd. 6th, you got an AFC South matchup. That's a goodie. And then you got the 7th seed and the New England Patriots at the 2 seed. Denver continuing. Now,
that's a
let's flip it
tough
back
wild card draw for Buffalo. And both.
Buddy.
I mean,
let's say the Bills lose to the Bengals. The Bills lose to the Bengals. Look at that. Look at that.
Don't love that.
I don't love that either. And that's a very real possibility. Let's move over to something that is crucial. The Kansas City Chiefs, desperate at home. They get the win.
That. I like that.
So we need KC to win.
Wow.
If the Bills lose. All right. Let's go up here. Jacksonville. I mean, that should not have any bearings on us, but let's just say the Colts win. Bills at the 7th seed versus the Patriots. All right. Let's just we said that there was a Denver game. Where's that? So Denver's not going to lose that one.
They ain't losing to the Raiders.
They ain't losing that one. And the Patriots have a bye this week. That's the big one. So let's say the Bills win. Bills win, and we reign.
So it's the same thing. So if they win, regardless, they're going against Baltimore. Wait,
absolutely.
What if Baltimore loses to Pittsburgh?
Baltimore loses to Pittsburgh.
So they would play Pittsburgh then, right?
That would be a doozy. And guess what? Pittsburgh it is.
Sign me up for that. Huh?
Sign me up, baby. Sign me up. So 9-4 Bills up against the 70 at the 4 seed. I'll take that every day of the week.
I might put my Jerome Bettis jersey on next week if that's the case.
Dig that thing out of the crate and bring it. Week 15.
Go back to that week 14, by the way. You skipped the Thursday night, which is a great matchup. Dallas, if Dallas gets into the playoffs, they're scary with that offense.
Who's Dallas playing? Oh,
Detroit.
right here. You know what? Give me Dallas, man. I'm about St. Brown's out for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Give me Dallas. I like what Dallas is doing right now. I really do. And I think they're going to go on a run, and I think they beat Detroit. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philly freaking Eagles, and now you're going to take on the Dallas. Listen, they're a legit squad. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams running hard, bro. And they got a run defense? Are you kidding me? Yo, these guys are peaking at the right time. And did you hear the rumor that he wanted to trade Michael Parsons to the Jets for Quinnen Williams and a first?
I did hear that.
And Buddy was like, nah, they ain't got the money for that, so we couldn't do it. And now he gets his guy anyway, Buddy. So, week 14 in the books. Let's go to week 15 just for fun. I'm not going to go any further than this because this is the big week. I honestly, truly believe the Bills need to even this one out, and I think they do. I don't give a F if it's on the road. They know how big this game is.
You cannot lose to New England twice in the same year. You can't.
You can't.
You cannot. You simply cannot.
Can't let that happen. So let's go Bills with the win. I mean, what are we saying here? I think the Bengals go back to back and do it again.
Yeah.
I think they do it again. They say, F you guys. I got T. Higgins back. We're going to do it to the same. We're going to do it to you again. But Baltimore will be like, yeah, I give you guys the ball back 5 times. It ain't happening. So who knows? But I'm taking the Bengals just because. This one here, could this be tricky? The Jets and Jaguars?
No. Jacksonville.
Ooh. I mean, listen, if surgery keeps him out, and I assume it's going to keep him out, what an unfortunate time to have this injury take place. Terrible time.
Yep.
Give me the Chiefs. Chiefs win it. Cardinals, they're just not good enough. I think Houston comes in and handles business. Could there be an upset in the making here?
No.
Doubtful. Here we go. Let's go Giants. Let's go Philly. Let's go Sam Darnold.
Seattle's defense is no. Seattle's. I think they're the second best team in the NFL.
I haven't watched enough Seahawks football to know. You talk to the NFC West guys, so you have a great insight on what's taking place here. So give me Seattle. This is interesting. Look at this matchup right here.
That is big for both those teams.
Holy. Let me come back to that. San Fran, Panthers, Rams. I think the lines are cooked. Give me Dallas.
Yeah, unless Jahmyr Gibbs goes off, like they don't have it.
Yeah, I just don't think they do either.
Give me Miami.
Miami with the upset? I'll take that. Here we go. Let's go back to this game here. What are we saying? Green Bay on the road to Denver?
That's a toss-up.
Give me Denver.
Let me see what happens if Green Bay won,
the
though.
whole team just because. Toss-up.
Let me just see what happens if Green Bay won, though, with Denver. So they're still the 1 seed. Okay.
Still the 1 seed. So let's just say, we'll say Denver, they're still the 1 seed, so it doesn't matter. So 12-2. So this is what it looks like.
Go back and make Pittsburgh beat Miami real quick. Let me see that again. Okay, so that'll be what. So by the end of it, if the Bills rattle off wins, they'll be set to either. It looks like they'll be set to either play Baltimore, the winner of the North, basically, is what it's looking.
The winner
like.
of the North. So are we rooting for the Seattle?
Are
we rooting for the Steelers?
I think we gotta be.
We're rooting for the Steelers right now, boy. And let's just say, you know what? Let's just say we lose to the Patriots.
Ooh, that's a tough draw.
We become the 6th seed, and then we play the Colts. If Pittsburgh loses,
yeah,
it remains the same. Nothing changes on that end. Baltimore's out.
Give the Bills a win over New England. Go back and give them a loss to Cincinnati.
Sorry, go back to 14.
So give the Bills a win over New England.
Yep.
Yeah. So give a win to Cincy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll go back
and then go to week 15 and give the Bills a win over New England. See what that looks like.
6 seed.
Okay.
So 9-5, 6 seed by this week. So
if they split the 2, they'll be the 6.
Right.
If they win both, they'll be the 5.
There you go. And then let's just say Chiefs lose, we go to the 7th seed. So Chiefs lose, that means the Chargers are in, and we go to the 7th seed. So it's Patriots. Listen, we're in the mix. We're in the mix. So I mean, listen, there's a lot of things that can shake place right now.
Ooh,
Chiefs
December
wins.
is tomorrow, and it is gonna be good. This is shaping up to be good, Rico.
Listen, it is going to be something. So, folks, you see it. It's right there in front of you. The Bills are in control of their own destiny. All right. Is there a chance that they lose to the Bengals? Of course, there's always a chance. But man, oh man, are we ever? We're getting to crunch time. Shall we jump? Look on before we get into the super chats and so on and so forth, because there is something that I do want to touch on, and I think the defense needs a little bit more credit, and that credit goes to what they were able to do to the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively. Like, the defense showed out today. You got to give them credit for what they were able to do and take care of business against the Steelers. They had these guys at 3 for 9 on third down defense. 3 for 9 on third down defense. This is the big one. They held the Pittsburgh Steelers to 10 total first downs. And of the 10 first downs was a ridiculous penalty from AJ Epinesa when he knocks the ball out of DK's hands. You're like, dude, what are you doing? What do you do? What was the point of that? It was such a silly time in the game. I was like, what a joke. Anyway, that being said, defense stopping these guys and allowing them to only get 10 first downs to our Bills 26. Huge. Steelers went 3 for 9 on third downs and then went 0 for 1 on that big, huge 4th and 2 stop. That was massive. I did not like the play call for the Steelers running the football. Throw the football. Throw the freaking football, for crying out loud. You got DK Metcalf. Throw the football. Anyways, big stop. 166 total yards by the defense. Great job by them. Holding these guys to under 4 yards per play. That's a win. No matter how you want to slice it, that is a win totally. And last but not least, the turnovers. We forced 2 turnovers, key turnovers, which turns into big-time defensive play. So touchdown on the defensive side and a interception by Christian Benford. Can we talk about Christian Benford a little bit? Christian Benford, not only did he have a recovery for a touchdown, taking it back, not only did he have the interception, but he held DK Metcalf. He followed DK Metcalf. He held DK Metcalf to 3 receptions. Huge.
And he was frustrated all night, Metcalf.
Oh, he was frustrated all night. Big time plays by guys that we paid, that we needed them to get the job done, and that they did. So big shout out to this defense. They did a great job, and we need to see an encore. Let's see if they can bring that that firepower next week against the Bengals, the red hot Bengals offensively. So we'll see how it all shakes out in the end. Shall we dive into the super chats?
We shall. Before we do, quick shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. You've been hearing us talk about it all season long. Make sure to take advantage of this promo because it is an awesome one. Link in the description below. Click that. You sign up for an account. Once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry. You just saw the Week 14 slate up ahead. I mean, I didn't even realize until right now how insane it is. It'll be even more awesome with a little bit of action. Get in on that action. Free $20 entry with Sleeper when you sign up. Once you use that free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, BF25. That will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below today. Kick off those super chats for me, my friend.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to kick it off by bringing in Miss Lisa. Or Lisa E. Welcome to the squad. Lisa E. What's good? We appreciate you always. We all appreciate anybody that wants to just join our community and just show support, because sometimes it's just a matter of, you know what, I like this group. I like these guys. I resonate with them. One's a new father. Look at him looking at his baby girl now, just giving kisses and making faces.
Zoe's got, what is this? She's got a binky in with a doll attached to it. What's it called, Caroline? A wubba nubba.
I couldn't tell you what that is.
Apparently, they're all the rage right now for those that are 18 days old. And she's loving it. Look at her.
Look at Papa Bot, just beaming with pride.
We're giving Zoe her first bath tonight, by the way. That's what's coming up after the show.
Where are we bathing her?
Did we decide where we're bathing? Where we're doing the bathing? I have it all set up. Caroline's got it all set up, apparently.
Where is this? I'm curious to where it's set up. I'm just curious. How are we doing it?
Where is it set up?
On the left side of the sink.
Okay, we're bathing her in the sink.
Yes. Little sink action. Just like her daddy does.
Are you guys putting her on the little I forgot what they call those things, or are you guys gonna hold her in your hand and do by hand?
We have one of the things. We have the thing. It's like a thing.
Okay, cool.
No, the thing. Yeah.
It's funny. The thing. That's funny because I used the thing until I was done with the thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm better off just holding my little guy. I had him in my hand, and we did it with all our kids. We just did it by hand. It was just perfect. So great. They're so comfortable. You just run that water over top of them. They're the best. They're the best. Listen, you are embarking on such an adventure. It's amazing. So great. You know what else is amazing? Let Robster.
Money Mitch
coming through and saying a donation matching the number of the Bills MVP tonight. Benford has always been my boy. Bills just need to accept their identity as a running offense. Game plan around opening that up. It's our identity. BF is the best on YouTube. Money Mitch, much love. And Benford did have a fantastic. I'm so glad that we got to read this because we just touched on Benford having not only the recovery for the touchdown and a great interception to kind of give the ball back to the offense. And that's how it all got started. 47 may have turned over a new leaf, and now he's going over and grabbing every damn top flight receiver and say, I got it. I'm paid to do it. Let me do it. I'm hoping that he went to the defensive coordinator and said, let me travel. Let me be the traveling cornerback that handles business. And I hope that they said, we'll oblige. You do that. If you make this defense better, we'll take it.
Shout out to Money Mitch, by the way. I'm shocked he didn't. Oh, there. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Go ahead, Rico. Go ahead. There it is.
Letter Officer comes back. Money Mitch says, it has been 1 year officially supporting the best channel on YT through the ups and downs, smiles and frowns. Thank you, boys. Much love. Ohio. He's letting you know, man, he doesn't stop. He'll never show his team some love.
His Buckeyes get their first victory over Michigan in the game since 2019. They destroyed the Wolverines. They're set to play the Hoosiers in the Big Ten chip this upcoming weekend. Go Hoosiers, Mitch. Much love to you, though, brother. Appreciate you.
Much love to Money Mitch. Here we go. Dan Echo with a super chat. We appreciate you, Dan. Dan comes in and says, hey, we beat a division leader in their home. Record ground pound game. If not for the fumble, D would have shut out Romo. Would have shut out the Steelers, which is right. Romo said Brady was brilliant. Agree or disagree? Josh passes Cam, hit the horn, baby. And I want to ask that question to you. Romo said that Joe Brady was brilliant. We talked about it today.
I must have
I
missed
don't
that.
think Dan Echo, we hit that home for my dude. Was Joe Brady brilliant? I think Romo was just talking just to talk, because we know Joe Brady, and whether you want to call this brilliant, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say a good game plan, stuck to it, and we executed. That's what it came down to. Execution, stick to the game plan, and get the job done. And I think that's what we did. So, real Dan Echo, we appreciate you. But would you call that game plan brilliant?
Brilliant is not the game, or brilliant is not the word I would use, but it was the right game plan, right? We talked about that earlier. I don't think they reinvented the wheel today. Nothing they did made me feel one way or the other. I just thought, if we're talking about giving praise, then there's praise to be had for continuing to go to the run when they weren't able to stop it. And that's exactly what they did.
Love to see it. Love to see it. We got a comment coming in from my man Anthony 98005. Steelers played dirty and got what they deserve. I mean, there were some moments that they were kind of getting testy. I knew this game was going to be testy when, there was guys, scuffle and Hayward getting some of it. And DK looked like a menace today. He just looks like he's upset. Let me ask you something. Did you hear Jalen Ramsey's name once today?
Not once. No, not until right now.
Not once. I mean, there was no reason for us to hear his name in the first place because we didn't throw the football like that. But not once did I hear Jalen Ramsey's name, which I found fascinating. So, did they play dirty? They had their moments where they were a little testy. But listen, the W is what we needed. The W is what we got, and we'll take it. We will take it. What do you got? Fluffy Panda. What up, Fluff? Says live and in living color. Old man Rico and newly Papa Z-Bot. Herbert having surgery on the left hand Monday. Bears and Jags in first. Are we in a bizarro world? Well, we just spent a segment talking about how weird and how strange the times are. And this is the year, man. My father-in-law today was asking, like, oh, so are the Patriots in first place? I looked at him, I was like, bro, you haven't seen what's been going on, man. The Patriots right now are out of the playoffs. Right now, the Bills are one loss of being out of the playoffs as well.
Oh, the Chiefs, you mean? You mean the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, excuse me.
Yeah.
And the Bills right now are we need this win. If we're not, we're going to be right next to the Chiefs. So there's a lot going on. The Ravens, not so great. He's like, what? Like, what's happening? I was like, I couldn't even give you the answers. All I know is,
Rico, if the Bills had lost today, all 4 AFC teams that were in the divisional round last year would have all been out. Houston.
Isn't that crazy?
Or no, Houston would have been in. Sorry, Houston would have bumped up. So 3 of the 4, but which is still is the reality today. Houston, crazy. Kansas City, and Baltimore. It's just nuts.
Totally crazy. Totally crazy. All right, let me keep it rolling here. Yep. We got Jacob comes in and says Shaq Thompson rallied the defense. He lit that match, a night and day difference after he spoke up. I'm telling you right now, man, I love Shaq Thompson. I think he's great for this defense. They better not remove him. I freaking mean it. And if Babbage or McDermott decides that, hey, nobody loses their position off of, no, bro, were you trying to win or not? If you're trying to win and you want this defense to play well, leave it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And then we can go from there. So I love what I'm seeing from these boys. So keep that up. We'll keep it rolling. Big shout out to my man, Jacob. Jacob, appreciate you, my G. What do we got here? We got Kyle Bill says celebrating with a donaire poutine right now. Massive win. Nice. Listen, for those that are not understanding what this means, donaires are huge in Halifax, where I live at. So my man Kyle is Canadian, and a donaire poutine would absolutely hit right now. It's shaved beef on wrapped up like in a wrap with sweet donaire sauce. And so, listen, it's a staple in Halifax. So if you guys ever decide to come out to Halifax, come get your donaire. My man is dealing with a donaire poutine right now, bro. You hitting that kid. All right, here we go. We got Bo Borish says O-line stepped up huge.
Yeah,
this is the year, boys. Everything lining up. Make it to the tourney, and anything is possible. He says this is the year. Could it be? Is it?
In terms of it being as wide open as it's ever been, yeah. In terms of them having just as much of a chance as anybody else, yes. Then yes.
You know what?
Which
then
is crazy.
Boris, line it up, Boris. My man, he's representing Canada, so I appreciate you, Boris. Listen, man, this could be the year. It doesn't look pretty, but the things that we need out of the way are out of the way. So it's up to us to handle business. Like what a disaster it would be if the Bills are not in it, Chiefs are not in it, Ravens not in it. We got, who did you say? You gave me a Super Bowl that I was like, yeah. That'd be weird.
I said it would stun me zero if it was like Jacksonville and the Rams.
Golly, wouldn't that be something?
The
Trevor
ratings would
Lawrence
not
and
be
Matt
looking-
Stafford.
Man.
Yeah. Anyway, this is what it is. And here we go. Let's go to our guy, Mr. Divine. He says, I know off topic. I'm so over Tony Romo as a commentator. He's awful, states the obvious, tries to build unnatural narratives, does too much predicting and ruins plays. He just talks too much for me. Today was a weird game because it was not great. I was actually thinking to myself, commentating on this game specifically, boring, snooze fest. So Tony Romo did what Tony Romo does, tries to make it somewhat entertaining, and it was a snooze fest. He probably was like, golly, what kind of game is this? My old counterpart that I used to go up against in Aaron Rodgers just looks like a shell of himself. What am I watching here? So yeah, you know what? He wasn't great, but I mean, that game wasn't great. Great for us that we got to win, but it wasn't sexy. What's Jonathan Mason saying? Manson.
Johnny's saying Dalton Kincaid back next week and maybe 2 linebackers. Bills can't look ahead, have to limit turnovers to escape the trap game. I wouldn't even call it a trap game. I mean, because Cincinnati has just been better than Buffalo when they've faced off. That offense is no joke, despite their record. Joe Burrow did not play well in his debut on Thanksgiving, and they still scored nearly 30, and they took care of business against Baltimore. They really, really did. Yep. So, yeah, turnovers are going to kill you in that game. If you give Burrow a short field, they're more likely to take advantage of it than that Steelers team, that's for sure. So, it's a big game. Every game remaining is a playoff game for Cincinnati. And as we just went over with Buffalo, every game matters in terms of how things end up shaking out for them too. So it's a huge, huge game for those two going head to head on Sunday.
No question about it. We got another one coming in from, what's that say? Will
Heimran. I'm an hour and a half behind the live stream, but if you haven't seen yet, Allen kneed Hayward in the gut and said, I'll do what I have to do to get you off of me. Yeah, so we went over that. I'm going to dive into the footage. I'm going to go look at it like the Zapruder film, break it all down and see what happened to have Cam Hayward so upset. He claims Josh Allen kneed him in the stomach, so I got to go back and take a look and see what happened.
By the way, there's a clip going around with TJ Watt. Watt saying that they tried a bunch of things to slow down the Bills' duo run, but they just weren't doing it. They just were effective. Yep. So, dude, when you see it coming your way and there's nothing that can be done to stop it, that's when you know that the O-line did a great job today. Kudos to these boys, man.
Big time.
Get right. Remember, for a year now, my guy. Well, you know what? Let me give you some love. 1 year Buffalo Fanatic versary. How confident are the two of you that we will beat the Bengals team that gives us all types of fits? When was the last time we won 2 in a row, Super Bowl or bust? Am I confident that we can beat the Bengals? Yes, I am. I'm confident. I mean, there's been games this year. I don't know how you feel, Z-Bot. There's been games this year where I flat out was like, I don't know. I'm going to just let it fly. And the games that I was like, I don't know, we ended up losing. In this one, I feel I'm split down the middle. Not with I don't know, but I'm like, I'm leaning towards, because we're such in desperation mode at home, we need this win. I'm leaning to more the win side. That's the way I feel. I don't know about you, how this Bengals game. Are you confident in this Bengals game? Too soon to talk about it. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not overly confident on any game, really. I'm taking them as they come, because once again, we've seen different iterations of this Buffalo Bills team from week to week throughout this season. We have. You know, if we get a running performance like this game, or we get a passing performance like the Chiefs game, we get a defensive performance like the Panthers game or this game, yeah, I think the Bills are winning that football game. But if we get a performance like, against the Miami Dolphins or the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to be in some trouble against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and company. So We'll see. But I'll say, it's in Buffalo. Only one loss this year. It's against the New England Patriots. Tight football game. So I'm excited for that one. I'll just say that.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. We'll wait for the all 22 to come out too, because I think that's going to do a world of difference. Let's keep it rolling here. We got my man. Valerie. What's up, Valerie? What's up, Val? Val comes in and says, Bot was preaching. Bills played well, even if it all showed up in the second half. But no cookies or kudos for Brady, but got the W. Happy about that. I mean, you can't. How can you not give kudos and cookies to Brady? If I'm reading it correctly, even if it showed up in the second half, but no kudos. I mean, I think he did well enough to understand what needed to be done because the issue with Brady was that he never adjusts. Right? He goes through a game plan and doesn't adjust. This one, the game plan worked where there wasn't much adjustment to be done. And the fact that the team knows that the duo was coming and they still couldn't stop it, kudos to him not stopping it, and kudos to the O-line handling business. So great job. Valsberg says Z-Bot doesn't understand that Pitt defense is still good. The Bills O-line was just excellent. Your thoughts on that?
That Pittsburgh Steelers defense isn't particularly great. It's not. I think they came into this with the worst passing defense in the NFL.
Yep. 30 seconds.
Listen, to that point, you would think it would be great. Like I said, they are the highest paid defense in the league, and they got some big names on that defense. Ramsey, Patrick Queen, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. They're not particularly great, though, that defense. But I also said they were set up for success today with that offensive line being as banged up as it is. So absolutely all the credit in the world for the Bills being able to overcome the amount of injuries they had on offense. They typically don't have that many injuries on offense. They had an abundance of them today, and you really couldn't tell in the second half. You really couldn't. That's a fact right there. I'll take that. By the way, what is the word on Bosa's injury? The hamstring. So remember we were talking about what Alex said in the chat. Well, I went and looked at what he said. Alex Thydog is such a bugger. You should see what he wrote in the chat. Anyway, I imagine
he's such a bugger, man. So when it comes to Bosa says, he says, well, when I threw that thing in the chat, he goes, guys, good news on Bosa. He was walking well in handshakes. So when they're shaking hands with everybody, he was walking well. The fact that he was there for the handshakes was cool. He wasn't in the locker room where they had to send him down there. So that's the one thing. He says score effects at play. I'm guessing minor, mega minor, but might miss 1 week. So hamstrings usually like 4 weeks. He's saying it could be super minor. It's just probably a week. But a week against the Bengals where we need a pass rush, that's not the week that we can't have this brother play. So I don't know how great of news that is, but it's not the news that I wanted to hear. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the week goes. All right, a couple more super chats, and then we'll call it a night. Our guy Fluffy Panda says, hey, the Rich Eisen show, only show worth watching nowadays. I like Rich. Rich is nice. Said earlier in the season that we could see KC, Buffalo, Baltimore as wild cards, but now in December, if we don't win our games, we might see the big three miss the playoffs. That's a fact. That's why every win matters, man. This is why they always talk about, hey, I don't care what the heck you guys do in September. I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass what you guys do in October. Tell me how you play ball in November, December, January. That's when it really matters. So that's why we're about to jump in and find out what's really good. MP, I'm hoping the Bills can get a hot streak, but if it weren't for the damn Pats and the potential to have at least one road playoff game, love the show. Hey, man, the Patriots are doing what they're supposed to do, winning the games that they're supposed to do. Are they winning games that are credible? They've had some good, credible wins, but most of their wins are coming against teams that they should beat. That's why we can take care of the Bengals, I can't wait to go against the Patriots because I think that we'll repay them. I don't care if we're on the road or not. I think we're going to do well against them. Payback's a bitch. We need to get that shit back. We can't, like Bot said earlier, we cannot go 0-2 and get swept by these boys. Just can't. I won't allow that. Can't do it. The Jonah, Papa Bot, congrats on the little one. Tomlin may be available. What are your thoughts on replacing McDermott with Tomlin? Well, unless I hear, what the heck are you looking at?
Treylon Burks just had the nastiest touchdown of the season.
Okay.
Fade to the back corner pylon, and he just OBJ'd that thing over the defender. Was that Pat Surtain did that on?
Who did this?
Treylon Burks.
Treylon?
That's what his name is, right?
Treylon Burks, yeah. The former Titan.
Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, yes. Treylon Burks, yes. He just went up and mossed. That was the touchdown of the weekend. Holy cow.
I'll take that.
Sorry, that was nasty.
But the face you gave me when reading this, Papa Bot, congrats on the little one. Tomlin may be available. Then I see your face looking at
I
the
will
screen.
also
I'm
make
like,
that same face to this because absolutely not. Jonah, appreciate the super chat. Absolutely not. That would be like replacing Dasani water with Poland spring water. In my opinion, it's different, but it's the same. You have a defensive-minded head coach that wins football games, but for the vast majority of their time, it's been a whole lot of not getting over the hump, right?
Hey, speak for yourself. I would take Tomlin.
You would take Tomlin for McDermott?
I would bring Tomlin to Buffalo. I would bring
Wow.
Tomlin to Buffalo. There's something about Tomlin's demeanor. Maybe sometimes, like, listen, look what he's dealing with right now. He's got an aging quarterback that is just not the same. He's got his offensive coordinator. Who was it? The old coordinator for the Titans. And that's his hire. Who knows whose hire it is? Just not good. But I would bring him here. You put Tomlin as head coach and you bring Dable as offensive coordinator.
Mike Tomlin's a defensive head coach. He has the highest paid defense in the NFL, and they're not very good. And they haven't won. When's the last time they've won a playoff game?
I think it's because I like Tomlin. I
like Tomlin a lot too. I also really like McDermott. You know, I mean, yeah.
You ain't lying. All right, let me get a couple of super chats in. My man Josh Arnold comes in and says, "Yo, we got to get the locker room action. We got to get a locker room action. Is there one? Let me see if I can find one, folks, for a locker room reaction." Rodgers is out here. Man, Rodgers looks rough, bro. Oof, poor guy.
While you're doing that, I'll read a few more because I got to get my baby in the bathtub. I got my main man, BT Bartek. I have KC PTSD because until those odds go to zero, it's still the team I'd be most afraid to face in the playoffs. And you're 100% right to feel that way, BT. It's the same way I feel. I mean, why would you not feel that? You've had 4 X's at the hands of that team. The worst they've done under Mahomes is overtime in the AFC Championship. It's 100% the way you should feel. That's why they're not dead until they're dead. It's just amazing that they are 6-6 with, what is it, a 30% chance to get in, and they are drastically behind the Denver Broncos in the division. Another win for the Chargers, who have a head-to-head. So, yeah, 100% agree with you, BT.
Love it. Is that the last one for BT? We got another one? We got, because you got to get the babies in bed, so let's get this one going here. Be honest, do you guys really believe that what we have on this roster is, I can't even read today. Be honest, do you guys really believe with what we have on this roster, such as these old fix and repair daily players and the way the offense has been playing, we have a shot at the Super Bowl? Anything can happen. Anything can happen, man. We just got to get hot at the right time, healthy at the right time. And listen, anything can happen, man. Here's how
I look at it. I think people are saying, you look at the Colts, do they really have a chance with Daniel Jones? You look at the Ravens. Do they really have a chance with their inability to get over the hump the way things have gone? When you look at all these teams, Rico, the key there is, yes, you are right. The Bills have limitations. Every other one of these teams in the AFC does too. That's why, to me, it's just a matter of getting in. And at the end of the day, anybody's game to win once you get into the dance.
Big facts. All right. Well, this is how we're going to end the show tonight, right? With McDermott with the reaction in the locker room. Here we go. I can already tell he's ready to fist pump right now.
Great job, man. Great job. I'll tell you what, toughness, a long way. It really does. Your focus and your toughness didn't go all our way right from the start, but we came out in that second half and we put it down. Right? We put it down. All 3 phases playing together. You know what I'm saying? All 3 phases playing together. Tough football, man. Buffalo Bills style football at their place. Yes. At their place. Now we get a chance to go home. Right? Now we get a chance to go home. Hey, where's Bandy and Alex? Hey, everybody should get a game ball. Listen to me. I got two guys I want to single out right here. All right, this man right here just broke the NFL record, the history of the NFL for quarterback rushing touchdowns. All right. Next one here. Man just scored his first touchdown. Scored his first touchdown. CB, where are you?
Also, I'm going to say something.
Real quick, listen up.
Offensive coordinator Joe Brady, baby girl, today.
Oh, maybe it's all as well.
Victory Monday.
This one, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I did not know Joe Brady joined the girl dad gang today. How about that? Shout out Joe Brady.
So you got a little more love for Joe Brady now, or what? You guys are sharing girl dad?
Love that. Love that. 1-0. We got a couple more super chats, by the way, before we close up. MP saying, I'm hoping the Bills can get on a hot streak, but if it weren't for the damn Pats and the potential to have at least one road playoff game, love the show. Much love to you, MP. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, I mean, that's all you need. You just need them to get on a streak in January. And we've seen if they can give a game like today, a game like Kansas City, they can stack a couple of those. That's all any of these teams are looking to be able to do. If they can do that, it's anybody's to win. Jonah, Papa Bot, congrats on the little one. We already went over that. Yes, and speaking of the little one, it's almost bath time. I promise I'm coming, Zoe. Josh, we got the locker room reaction in. And lastly, we got Don saying, Rico, waiting on the all 22 review of Lisa. And it's the hardest I've laughed in some time. I just want to say it was unbelievable. If you know, you know, last post game.
Don's a fool.
That was something else. Unbelievable. What's unbelievable is we had over 3,000 of you joining us here on the BF Postgame Show. We appreciate each and every one of you coming and hanging out with us after a big W as the Bills improved to 8-4, getting it done over the Pittsburgh Steelers. We look forward to hanging out with you throughout the week. I'll be with you on Monday, Rico Tuesday. And as we move on throughout the week, we'll get you ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. But for tonight, that's going to do it. On the way out, like button if you could, subscribe button if you could. And until then, enjoy the rest of your night. Much love as always, and go Bills.